Bum, 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 Mr. Sandman.
Okay, so Dave Chappelle has responded to criticisms about him going to Saudi Arabia for the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Let's see what he says.
The States, they might not see it that way. Overseas, I got all that flack for doing that festival in Saudi Arabia, but in Saudi, I don't think that festival would have been legitimate if I wasn't there.
Say more about that. Say more.
Okay, maybe. I mean, he's probably the most. He's probably my favorite comic on the lineup. Him and Burr. I think it would have been legitimate with him. Without him, I mean, I don't think it was. I think it was legitimate. I mean, I think it was still crazy. I think people still, I don't know what makes this festival legitimate, but the fact that I think most of the. I mean, I think it was legitimate, especially it being sponsored by the Saudi government made it pretty legitimate, in my opinion. But let's see what he says.
More about that.
I'm not the biggest comedian, but my voice is sought after.
At least he's not pretentious, because that was very humble. I'm not the most greatest comedian, but my voice is sought after.
In Saudi Arabia, for like the last 20 years, they've been doing, really maybe 15 years, they've been trying to do comedy shows in Saudi Arabia. Underground shows. The jokes were like contraband. These shows would happen in people's homes. They would happen in embassies. You know, comedians like Maz Jobrani and guys like this.
Yeah.
They've been going over there for years and doing these shows.
But privately.
Quietly. It wasn't, close to being private.
Okay.
Whatever, I don't know what their laws are.
But for the
around this.
elites, basically, people who.
Not for necessarily the elites.
No, it wasn't
But
for the
for
elites.
people
It was underground.
who could have a house like that.
Okay.
I don't know what those shows were like because I didn't do those shows.
Okay. Yeah.
I did it because the Saudi government paid me millions of dollars. As a black man, he succeed. Buy me 2 Teslas. Make sure I can't even do a Chappelle impression.
The first time I can remember doing a big show in the Middle East, my opening act was a guy named Mo Amber, who's Palestinian American, from Houston, but originally from Kuwait, but he's Palestinian. And Mo was probably on that circuit doing the secret shows in Saudi. And man, the thing that was remarkable was the crowd reaction. Right before I went on stage, it's actually funny. Right before I went on stage, they gave me a list of all the things I wasn't supposed to address. It was like right before I went on stage. So I took the list on stage, and that was the show. I just did the list. Don't talk about the royal family. Is that y'all? And I just made fun of them. Man, they were screaming. Ah. Then after the show, I'm backstage at a meet and greet, and there was all these young comedians from all over the Middle East. They were looking at me like I wouldn't even know that they'd know who I am. They couldn't believe I was there. They kept saying, "You just say that? You just say that stuff?" Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal in my mind. But I never forgot that. And that was...
This could be an incorrect opinion. Him doing that is it not obvious that, like, if he did that, then it's fine, but because he's a big American celebrity, but if a Middle Eastern comedian did that, they would at best be arrested and put in prison at best, be put away in a cell. They said, is that I could be wrong, but I think Dave Chappelle, I just said it was on the paper and I made fun of the royal family. It was easy. I was smoking cigarettes and making fun, reading the list. Because if they treated you like an actual Middle Eastern person, an actual person who lives under that regime, you might get killed, I think. Now, I could be wrong. Put it in the comments if I'm wrong about that. I could be. I'm not saying I'm right.
Dubai. Man, in Riyadh, that crowd watching that comedy, the first time the government let them even see something like this, it was like a baby tasting sugar. If I had...
Ew. I don't know, that was a weird, like a baby tasting sugar.
Choked the tiger out, they couldn't have been more impressed. They were screaming.
You think you're creating space for them that wouldn't exist?
At the very least, and this is not nothing, That must have felt incredibly cathartic if you can't say everything you want to say, but you see somebody model that behavior. Oh man, you're gonna want it. So if you think of all the violence and all the things we export to the Middle East, I think our culture is the best export we got.
But
I didn't feel wrong being up there.
yeah,
That's all
I
I'm
know
saying.
you're talking about the Comedy Festival in 2025. You did get a lot of fall. You did get a lot of, I don't know what your pushback or criticism.
I don't think he got the most though. I think Burr definitely got the most because Burr was very adamant against even about performing in those countries. I don't think Dave's getting as much as Burr. He might have gotten some, but he's not getting more than most. More than I think Burr got the most.
That's just
for going among other
criticism,
people.
yeah.
Okay, the intelligence, U.S. intelligence did make it clear that they believe that the Saudis killed Jamal Khashoggi and the embassy in Turkey, and you knew that when you went, right?
Oh, absolutely. Now,
You
I
didn't have
should
any-
tell you,
You had no qualms?
I won't say that. They asked me to go years before that, and I said no for that very reason. Since that time, the United
Then they add 7 more zeros to the end of that page, and I agreed this time.
States government does business with the Saudis. Netflix does business with the Saudis. Everyone, the Saudis finance tons of movies. All these, I know, I see them financing boxing matches and all these things. And none of these things were an issue until I went there. And why is that? As soon as a black man can make money off the plantation, they try to tell you that the money is dirty. Well, okay, I'll go home and spend the money with actual slave owners on it. Where is this clean money you're talking
But you said you hesitated.
That's such a horrible defense, I think, of that. That's such a bad defense. I don't think they gave you first off, they didn't give you criticism because you're black. That's such a stupid defense. There was criticism because you were a smart guy. They thought you'd have better moral standings than to take money from a country that did 9/11. I don't think he did 9/11, but people, let's say for sake of argument, Saudi Arabia did do 9/11. You took money from people that did 9/11, and you took money from a country that kills journalists and doesn't have free speech laws. Again, other countries have that. Other countries have that. Israel does that. So I mean which is true, but still, you still took money from a country that killed a journalist and did 9/11. In some people's eyes, not because you're black. But the people said it tasted like sugar from a baby. It was great.
slave owners on it. Where is this
Oh, it's also still was money the actual slave. Okay, Dave, Jesus.
clean money you're talking
But you said you hesitated for years to go. The years you didn't go. So what made the difference for you?
Time.
The zeros.
Time and circumstance. Time and the wheels of commerce kept turning.
20 years ago, they offered me $20,000. Now they offered me $20 million. And I went. I put my hands in sand and showed the camera. Mark Norman said, comedy. I said, that's right. $20 million to do comedy in the sand.
If you want to be that pure about money, then stop driving your car, stop eating, don't use your cell phone, everything.
Okay, Dave, Jesus, this is the dumbest defense ever. Dave, really? Are you really serious when you say that? That's insane. I mean, if you're just trying to just
You're talking.
But you said you hesitated
just
for
say you did it for anyone doing the Riyadh Comedy Festival wants to defend themselves. Just say they did it for the fucking money, and I'd respect that. Don't be like, money slave owners on the money. What's the difference between that and me doing the Riyadh Comedy Festival? You're an idiot
years
if
to
you
go.
think
The
that.
years you didn't go. So what made the difference for you?
Time and circumstance. Time and the wheels of commerce kept turning. If you want to be that pure about money, then stop driving your car, stop eating, don't use your cell phone. Everything is tethered to something that's just terrible.
Well, then don't do anything at that point. I mean, we need phones. We need cars. We need to buy food. We need to use money. Those are needs. You don't need to do a comedy festival in Riyadh, especially since you built up being this very smart guy who's not all about money, who got a deal at HBO or Netflix. Something happened with that. If you're being a hypocrite, and it's a completely horrible argument he's making. It's very stupid.
And I can make a million excuses or reasons to deprive that crowd of that show. But man, when I was standing in front of them, I feel
But
like
then there was $1 million on the table, and I had to take it.
I did the right thing. Our governments are going to ruin everything for us. We'll never get to know each other if we just do everything that they want to do, or function on the terms that they want us to function. And we don't even really know what's going on. Not for sure.
Well, artists have always made these decisions. I mean, there were these decisions in South Africa under apartheid. You know, there were decisions about whether artists should go there or not go. And then the question is, are you validating the system or are you resisting it with your presence?
I mean, look,
So,
in the middle of apartheid, if I went and played Sun City, I'd say I'm a bad person. But if I went and played Soweto, why would I not do that?
I'm not smart enough to know what Soweto is.
You know, okay, I'll give you another example. It's not a good example.
Can women driving?
I'm doing a show. There's a police officer killed a black person, and the black community asked me to cancel the show. We don't want artists to come. We want to boycott. Well,
was that in Ohio? Was that in Cincinnati? After
yeah, it
one
was
of the-
exactly.
Was
where
in
that
Cincinnati?
was.
Yeah.
And I respected their wishes, but it's like, or we could have got together and talked about it. You know, and I like. I mean, I'm gonna say I like doing that, but I do that often. When Minneapolis was going through it, maybe when I was in Paris when they killed Alex Preddy, and man, I booked the show in Minneapolis right after they killed that guy. Like, man, they're gonna need to talk about this. And that
How
was,
unfair is that? They booked Dave Chapelle, but they cancel Ben Bankus. How unfair.